Happy Saturday and welcome to the living room. Today we are going to take our Saturday stroll on Saturday. I know last week was on a Sunday. Hopefully my voice will stay. I've been losing it on and off all day. But you know what? We're going to do the best we can do. It's a little gloomy outside, so there shouldn't be that much glare when we get over into the window area there. So go ahead and grab you something to drink, something to eat, because it might be a little long. I wanted to start here with my Hoya carnosa. Look at all of the growth. So we looked at this, I think about 2-3 weeks ago, and we did have the two big vines that are coming off over here on the side. But since then, it has put out 1, 2, 3, I believe there's 4. I believe there's one in the back as well. So pretty pleased with that. I'm going to leave it in the pot it's in. The media is not that bad. It's not my media of choice, but she's doing well. I'm working with it. And the goal is to have it just kind of start hanging over the basket. And then as it gets longer and into, you know, the light area and everything, I'll just move it on up. And oh, I cannot wait, cannot wait. And then, of course, we have Miss Velvet here. She's a no ID. Woo, let me zoom back out. Sorry about that. Woo. And I am waiting for either new leaf growth or for these roots to activate. Let's see if I can get it to focus. No, nothing yet, because she does need a refresh. She has been in this basket for about 3 years. There is moss in here, and I know the moss is broken down. I know the bark is pretty broken down as well, because every time I water, the bark is now coming out, and it's just real easy to bend and break. But I am waiting for new root growth. She is still senescing these leaves, and as soon as I see that, I will be giving her a refresh. She will stay in this basket. She's the first one I put in this. It's really just a food basket. Still haven't done anything with this cactus here. I've just been lazy. I think today, because it is such a gloomy day, I might just take it outside, take my potting mat, dump her out, put her back in, and call that a day. I put my green peperomia obtusifolia right here, and then the jewel orchid, the Ludicea discolor, I moved her up here. And when we looked at her last week, I think we only counted 4 spikes, and you can see how far that one's come. But if we look in here, so let me zoom in. I believe, if I can get it to focus, we've got 1 there. Oh, is that a mealybug? No, sorry. 1, 2, of course 3 we can definitely see. This is a leaf, so 3, and then we have 4, 5. Nope, not 1 in there, so that's 5. So we're going to have 5. So I did move her from down here up here so that I don't bump these spikes as they are developing. I cannot wait. My variegated African violet got moved over here. The violet that was sitting in this little crate thingamabob, I ended up just binning that one. She just didn't make it. The blooms, excuse me, are going over on this beauty here. Now this one here is a baby from an original plant that I've had, which has since long gone. The Sansevieria that I got in the rehab box is doing fine. I do still have her strapped up. She is still settling into her pot there. Soft Clouds, who was sitting where the Ludicea is sitting, has now been moved into this position here. And last night, I was up till probably about 3 o'clock this morning. I just got on a kick and I started doing things. But she had a few mealybugs, not too many, but I do think that I got everything, because they were snug as a bug up under there. But I did treat her. And then what's known as a satin pothos, but I believe is a Syndapsis picta maybe. I don't know which one this is. I love her. She also needs a repot. She's been in the pot that's within the basket for quite some time. I did lose my air plant here. I don't know why. Let me just take that out of there, and I'll put it right there, and we'll probably see that again next week. Up here we have just a regular pothos, just your everyday average pothos. And real quick, so here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of taking this family picture thing, and I'm thinking of putting it up here above the mirror. I don't know why my brain stopped there for a second, but putting it above the mirror. And then this way, I think I can put like my big zygoniceas and zygopedilums up here and off of that bench away from the door, because the leaves are starting to get really strappy and they're getting bumped. This one here is trying, and as long as it's trying, I'm going to keep it, because I did purchase this as an anniversary gift a couple of years ago. The ICPUs, which there is a video coming out on them later this week. I'm just going to do all of them at one time. My Monstera Peru, the way it's growing, I like it, but I think I am going to put it on a moss pole. I was trying to avoid moss poles for it because I don't like the green and all that stuff, but you know what? I think she's going to do better on a moss pole, because these leaves down here are so nice and big. But the ones that are actually getting more light aren't as big, and it could be because they are getting more light. But I do have some moss poles on the way. The Tribii up here, look how pretty. Oh my God. My goodness. And then the spider plant from Orchid Supply Store, which, guys, don't forget to go get your 12% off of anything that you order there. orchidsupply.com. Use coupon code TRISH at checkout. And then the Croniana Eskimo, well, it was sold as Eskimo. Look at the new growth coming up on that. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait for her to really fill out. And then I did move my Gigantea. I hope you guys can see that because I am stretching. But I did move Gigantea over here because I did a little revamping on the other wall that we'll see here in a few minutes. And then, of course, Little Leaves is still doing her thing. And then here, just still have the new leaf. Nothing really new going on over here. I did also move the Inscriptiosis onto this shelf. And I think I finally have determined what took her down, because, let me move this leaf out of the way here. Sorry. But I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's spider mite damage. So she has, since I, redid her in here, I wipe the bottom and top of, especially this leaf, with alcohol once a week. And then I've been wiping her down with insecticidal soap on these leaves. And then I moved big girl here. This is the Chia Lin. I always forget. I've had this orchid since 2020, almost 4 years. Well, 4 years, April. You would think I'd remember the name, but this is the RLC Chia Lin Golden Super crossed with RLC Hilo Grand. So I did move that over here. Again, did a little revamping. And then my Green Mantra, again, another one of my rehabs that I got in the, I think this one is from the Shea something another back in May. Look at all the growth. Loving that. I don't like the way that my rubber tree plant is growing. I don't like the leaves sticking up like that. I know a lot of people's grow that way. I like them like this. And being over here, it's a little harder for me to kind of train them to go down because I don't have anything to kind of put the leaf under like I did over by the window. I may be moving her. I don't know. Does anybody else just move their plants around? And I do have the windows open, so if you hear the stuff going on outside, I apologize. My anthurium here, and this is the one they call the flamingo plant, the one with the purple or pink flowers. I'm not really, like, the flowers are okay. I just love the leaves. I just love these leaves. I love these leaves. And then this queen over here, she's on the struggle bus. I let her dry out because I forgot to water her. But I think I might just combine her with the other queen that's doing fantabulous. And then my Crinkle 8, and I'll post some pictures because I did finally repot this one. The media she was in, it was very clayey and hard. And she ended up, I think there's like 4 or 5 pieces in here. I lost quite a bit of it, but all of the ones that I put in here already had like little root nubbins starting. So hoping that she recovers and moves on and gets lush again. Down here, I moved some of the smaller Cattleya. I believe which one is that? Is that the Maikai? Yeah, that's the second piece of the Maikai back there in the corner. She might be a little too tall for this little space here. But we do have a couple of the Curl Smiths in here. And then I moved Leonis in here as well. And then these down here are just the orchids, the Phalaenopsis, all my struggle bus Phalaenopsis right here. My corms back there, I don't think they're going to do anything, so I'm probably going to take them out and then just probably divide the mantra and give my daughter a piece, because I don't think I did that right. We'll try it again later. Let's just look at these lovelies on the wall that are right here that get this light from the east side through this front door here. Of course, another spider plant from Orchid Supply Store. Now, this is one that was on the struggle bus when I got it. It was ICPU. And look at all the new growth. Like, it is just starting to really fill out. And I love the variegation on that one. Oh, my goodness. She still has some of her older leaves on there. And I'm just going to leave them on there until they actually dry out. It does support her. I have my little Barnacle, Sansevieria Barnacle up there. And I always forget to water her. She'd probably grow better if I watered her more often. I think I've been watering her like every 2 months. Maybe once a month would probably be more beneficial for her. We'll try that. I did move one of the ICPU orchids over here just because there's no particular reason. My, which pothos is this? I think it's like the Mandula, something like that. But I love the variegation on this one. It's very splashy. I love that yellow. I think it's so pretty. She's a slow grower though. Very slow grower. She hasn't really grown but maybe 2 new leaves since I got her, but I did get her kind of as a rescue from Lowe's, local big box store here. Another ICPU, this is the Staghorn Fern, again from Orchid Supply Store, that is shooting out lots of lovely growth for me. And this is kind of how I keep my walls from getting like dirty from drainage. I let it drain as much as possible, and then I just put like either a microfiber cloth or a paper towel or something to kind of catch any excess. And now that she's nice and drained, I leave it there like overnight or during the day. And then this way, I don't mess up my wall. Let me put that down. Oh, real quick, guys. Hold on. Swinging you around, sorry. I am, yes, don't ignore the mess back here. Let's not focus on that. Let's focus on this. My marbled Optusifolia. Oh, I am obsessed. When I say I am obsessed with this plant right now, my goodness, look at this. Now, again, she's in a very peat base, so I let her dry out completely, and then I wait like another day or so just to keep from overwatering her. But oh my goodness, she is, look at the growth. And there's, I'm pretty certain 3 sections in here. So I think when I repot her, I'm going to pot each section in a separate pot so I can kind of spread her around to different areas of my house. Loving it. And here are the Zygopetalum zygonicea I was talking about earlier. See how strappy they're getting? Like, I had to turn this one kind of in a direction I don't really want her. I don't really like her sitting like parallel to the side, but the thing is, if I set her the way I want to, then when we open the door, this leaf keeps getting hit. So I'd like I said, I'd like to put that on that bookshelf where the picture thing is. So I might have my husband help me with that this weekend. But we'll get to them. Let me move Loki's bed out of the way so I don't trip on it. Which one is this? This is the Hoya, I think it's the Hindu rope or Carnosa Hindu rope or something. But in any event, the piece that I broke off still doesn't have any new growth that I can see now. But this is the piece, the top piece of it, and it is really going to town, as is this second stem over here. And then the black margin has put out these 2 leaves and this leaf since last we did the update. And any video that I mention, I will try to remember to put it in the description below, so if you want to go check those out. Let's start with this one here is the Murasaki, one of the Murasaki. I have two. When I repotted it the last time, I ended up dividing it. But the new growth is, I think I need to take this off to allow it to really open up now. I like to put them, kind of strap them when they first start coming up to keep them from growing wanky, if that makes sense. And then this is the new growth that's growing right up alongside this stake here. And then the other new growth, let me come around here. I thought I saw, oh, this, the one I just took the strap off of, this is the other new growth that it had. So, or is it this one? Nope, it is this one. Okay, yeah, it's this one here. So she's actually got a new growth that is still developing and kicked out another new growth. I just realized that. Awesome sauce. Awesome sauce. All right, and then the Phalaenopsis Dusty Bell. This is one of the Scention ones. The one that smells like fabric softener to me. I did move her down here to make room to display Macrobay Pops, who we will see shortly. Her blooms are starting to go over, so I will be cutting her spike after the video. I just thought we would look at these gorgeous blooms one more time. Look at that. I love the crystallining in orchid blooms. If the light can hit it just right. Can you see it? Oh my goodness. Yeah, and she no longer has her scent, and that's kind of my clue that she is tired and ready for a rest. But look at the roots of this lady. Look at her. Whoop. I didn't get to these guys yesterday. They're on my list for today. Still nothing going on with this dendrobium here. It's my pink dendrobium. So, and then the Sensor Blue. Again, big strappy girl. She's a Zygonesia. Look at her leaves, nice and strappy. And I just feel like they would do better over there. They like the cool. They like the cool. And then this is the other piece of the Murasaki that I probably can take the strap off now too, that it's growing up. But this one is not strapped quite the same way, so I think it'll have room. I think I'm gonna leave it there for another few weeks just to be on the safe side. The Hung Sing Red Apple is she? No, she's still just working on the leaf. And then I did lower the keiki that we got off of Macrobay Pops, and it is growing a new leaf here, so I'm assuming there's roots in there. She does still look a little sad, but we're going to keep growing her and see what happens. It's my little experiment. Still haven't gotten into my big girl Vanda here, the Colmenaire, but I did give her a really good soak, and I need to find a bucket or a basket, not a basket, a tub. That's the word I'm looking for. That is wide enough and deep enough where I can just set this into so that I can soak her. Because last year when I did that, she grew so much better instead of me having to pour the water over. And I waste a lot of water that way. If I can find the tub, then I can make me a Vanda tub. The one I used last year, it got too moldy, and I left it out over the winter, and the plastic got weak. But this way I can make a Vanda water tub and just keep the lid on it and reuse it for a little bit instead of wasting so much water. Excuse me. My Mother's Day orchid here does need a repot. I'm just waiting on some new growth. And then, of course, Hibiki. Just looking all scraggly, but I love the way she's growing. Like, I love the wildness of her. Look how wild she looks. Look at that. Just roots everywhere, growth everywhere. She's senescing a leaf or two. Not too concerned about that. It's what they do. And let's see if I can do this without the glare. But my Summer Love, look at the size of that new leaf on the right. That is just amazing. That's the best leaf, and I like the fact that it's not. See how that one on the left is curled over, curl back? I love how the new one is growing much better. And then I did give this one a haircut. I don't know if you remember all the scragglers. I left some of them out thinking that maybe they might develop into the zigzag. If not, I will be cutting them off as well. But the new growth, look at that. So I'm waiting for it to fill in, and I'm thinking, I don't really like the way those two are hanging right next to each other. So I might extend this one down just a wee bit just so it's not right up on that one. Miss Cleopatra here, I don't know how well we can see her, but like I said, it's kind of a gloomy day, but she's just working on her leaf. And again, another one that needs a refresh, and now is probably the time, because if I can get it to focus, maybe, there we go. She does have active root tips. I don't know how well you can see that. I moved the cucullata over here because she was hanging where that Vanda is hanging, but when I would open and close my blinds every day, because this basket here, the way it hangs, it kept getting knocked, and I was afraid it was going to get knocked out and over. But the new growth is really taking off. It's that one right there, kind of on, whoop. Let me get out of the, I said there wasn't going to be a glare, and there is a glare for sure. Let's see, let me just take her down. Let's just take her down and have a look. Woo, maybe. Let's see. Yeah, so there's that new growth. Doing really well. I don't know how well you can see that. Let me set her down. And I'm doing this with my weak hand. There we go. There we are. Look how much it's grown. And she does have lovely root growth in there. And she's light as a feather, so I'm going to leave her down because she definitely needs a vasa. Excuse me, I'm sorry I keep clearing my throat, guys. My Vanda back there, African Violet back there is another one of the babies from the other purple one. As you can see, those flowers are going over, so I do need to get in there and clean that up. And then our other one, the one down here with the double pink flowers, those blooms look like they may be going over as well, so she'll need a clean up as well. This is the section that I'm working today. I am wiping everything down with insecticidal soap, so it does take a while, and I do take my plants into the kitchen by the sink, and that's how I water. I used to set up a table and water, but I don't do that anymore. I go to the sink and flush them through really well, and it takes a little bit longer, especially when you're wiping them down. But our pink fusion right here, it's a twinkle. Let's see. Oh my goodness. I said there wasn't going to be a glare, and there is such a glare. Oh my goodness. There we go. So that spike is coming along, so we shall see a spike shortly. The slow growing Psychopsis back here, that's her new growth right there. And Obavada finally got a home because, let's see if we can see it. Do you see right by my hand? We have us a lovely new growth. So it got potted up into some moss and bark. And these are just little food containers that I found at the grocery store with lids. I thought they were cute. I did drill a couple of I poked. I didn't drill anything. I just took some scissors and poked some holes at the bottom for drainage. But it is in moss and bark because it did root in moss, and there was still a lot of moss left on the roots. I didn't want to tear them up, so just added some moss for aeration. Moved the Australia Salisa down here. I did finally repot her as well. She is just in the soil that I get from Orchid Supply Store that I did add some horticultural sand, perlite, again from Orchid Supply Store, and some small Orchiata Bark into there for aeration. The Carnosa Princess, I moved her down here because I just didn't like the way she was sitting up there anymore. Don't ask why. My Alocasia Dragon Scowl has a beautiful new leaf coming right there. It'll be the first one in my care, so it'll be interesting to see what that looks like. My Lidorio, I think, is going to be okay. I think she's going to be okay. I'm just going to have to be very patient with her. I thought I saw something crawling. Is that moving? Hold on. Let's zoom in and look. Do you see that little black dot? Let's look at it for, okay, I thought it was moving earlier. That's why I kept looking. And then another Croniana Eskimo, which I think is the super silver, but we'll call it a Eskimo until it blooms. Down here we do have the doubled flower, I call it the fuchsia pink. African violet. It does have a couple of blooms that are going over, but look at all the buds it's still got. And then this is a rehab Alocasia Fire and Ice, I think is what it's called. I already have one of these, so it's a plug, and it's still in its wrapping that I got it, and I've probably had this now for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, almost a month. But look at this one. This one, did not think was a real plant. Apparently it's called Party Time. And it is just such an interesting little plant. Look at that bright pink. And yes, this is an actual plant. I did not think it was. And it looks like, let's see, some growth. I don't know a lot about it. So if you grow this or know anything about how to grow this, any suggestions down below, I would appreciate it. Right now it's just in a very chunky, sandy mix. I did do some research on it. It does not like to dry out, but it doesn't like to be wet. Wow, does it sound like an orchid or what? Sounds like an orchid to me. So we're going to come back up here. And you know what? Give me a second, guys. Let's lower the blind a little bit here and see if we can't get rid of some of this glaring that's going on here. There we go. Let's try that. That's what we can. Oh, that is so much better. Now we can see some things. Schilleriana, again, I'm not letting her dry out. I have been very diligent about making sure that she stays nice and damp. But other than roots, which I'm pleased with, not much. The Eskimo, again, since last we saw her, is really putting out the growth. And then I moved my other white twinkle up here. I think this one is the White Showers. I moved her up here to give her a little more light. And then let me show you guys what I found on the pulchra. So we know about that spike, but let's see. Let me turn her around. Let's turn her around because the other side over here said, I am not going to be outdone. I believe we may have another little spike coming. So we may have 2 pulchra spikes. That is a very exciting. Whoops, sorry. So I cannot wait to see what this one does. We definitely have 1. We may have 2. Again, my little I don't even know how to say this. Let me show you guys. If somebody can phonetically put this down there, I've heard it and I've tried it, but if someone could phonetically let me know how to say this, is, again, it's surviving. It hasn't started doing anything. My Philodendron White Ghost, I think is what this one is. I think there's 2 plants in here because that the little bunching right down here is also putting out new growth. So we may have multiple plants in here. I'm not 100% sure, so we'll have to wait and see what she does. My little Zabrina back here is just minding her business. And my Australias, which needs watering, just doing her thing. Nothing new going on there. Nivian she is giving up some of her older leaves. I think I do need to get her into a different pot though, because she's starting to get a little crowded and some of her leaves are starting to dry out. So I need to get in there and see what's going on. She is a Louisiana Connection orchid. My Publicalyx is finally putting out some new growth. We've got quite the new growth down here inside the pot as well. And then this little star, this little succulent or cactus, I'm not sure, that my daughter got me. I love this thing. I'm glad she got me that because I don't know if you know the story, but I kept trying to steal hers. Bellina is working on a new leaf, and then we will be having another bud come up here shortly. Excited. And then my dragon, silver dragon, alocasia. And then we have, let's see, anything going on back here with the Tolumnia? No. Oh wait, I do see a new growth right back there. Do you see it right? Let's see if I can get my finger. See right above my finger? That is actually a new growth. I would pull her out, but I don't want to disturb everything. And there's a lot going on over here. ever since I put my Jiho's Pink Girl down here, she's actually doing a lot better. She's losing a lot of that redness that she had, which I like, but I didn't like on her. The Adenia glauca is still doing fine. And then, of course, we have the Cintion here. No spikes or anything, but oh my goodness, the roots she's putting out. My philodendron, is this the lime green or lime fiddle? Sorry, lime fiddle. There we go. Let me pull it. Okay, fingers aren't working. There we go. Lime fiddle. This is actually what I bought the moss poles for, because I did read that this one definitely does prefer a moss pole, because they do make quite the aerial roots, and I don't want her to be all strappy. The Maxillaria tenuifolia, lots of new growths coming up on her. We have like that little growth there. All right, sorry about that. I had to stop for the dogs alerting that my daughter was home with her friend and child. This is another rehab philodendron. I mean, it came with a name, but I can't remember what it is, so I'll have to look on the sheet again. But this is my ring of fire that I got from the local grocery store, as probably a little bit bigger than that in rescue mode. And then my red fantasy that I got from Nicole Deanna is putting out, look at all this growth. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I believe there's 6. I think there's one back there, but lots and lots of growth. It's really loving sitting in front of this east-facing window. This one is also really enjoying it. It's growing. It's growing slowly, but like this one, this growth here is doing much better. Still a little not senescing, but constantining in these leaves, even though I'm keeping it nice and damp. So I'm not 100% sure how to fix that. But with its growth habit of crawling, I can't really put it into an actual pot. Any suggestions? Leave them down below. And then my Hoya Bella. Oh my goodness. Look at all the growth on her too. She's really exploding with lots of new growth. And then this is one of the pieces that I propagated. Recently put it in there. And then if you look really closely, if I can get it to be still because it is on a hanger, looks like we have a new shoot coming out there. And then I did move the Wyetii over here. I shortened this because otherwise it was hanging way down there. And I think that's everything over here. So let's look at the plant stand. Let's look at Mr. Macrobay. I am going to kind of push him up a little bit so we can really appreciate the details. Look at those little fine hairs on there. Oh my goodness. If I can get it to focus. I can stare at him for hours and find all kinds of great details. Look at his hood. Look how beautiful his hood is this time. And this is the largest bloom that he's put out for me since I've had him. I think I got him in 2021. Oh my goodness. And so far since I've gotten him, he has bloomed off of every new growth. So let's see. Yeah, 2021. And he's had a repot every year. He is coming up on his repot time. I have read and in my experience have found that Paphiopedilums are actually grow better if you refresh their media every year. That may not be true for everyone, especially if you grow in inorganic. But if you grow in organic, as in media that can break down, a yearly refresh, in my opinion, will help. Down here, okay guys, I have to stop again once. I do apologize for all the stops and starts on this video. I had a coughing fit coming. I could feel it. Wanted to stop before I started coughing in your ear. This is my newest addition to my alocasia, is the Alocasia Dragon's Breath. I absolutely love this thing. He just arrived yesterday. And these white spots that you see, that's mechanical damage. I did give it a good wipe down with rubbing alcohol and insecticidal soap once it hydrated itself. But look at this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 new leaves coming out on this one. And it looks like it's in a cocoa coir. Let's see. Bark. It looks like it's in a very airy media. So obviously I'm not going to repot it anytime soon. I'm just going to work with the media. But look at the petioles. Look at those. Look at, very much like the Jacqueline, it's got patterning on it. I love this. Absolutely love this. I am thinking I want all of the ones that have dragon in the name, because so far they've all just stunned me. I love this. Now this one doesn't have the maroon venation in the back like the others have. Did I miss one? You know what? Let me move this off to the side onto my stool here so I can get a paintbrush and paint some alcohol on there. But this is the No ID Phalaenopsis that I did get at the grocery store. I believe this is the purple splash, so it's white with the purple splashing on it. Kind of like the way she's kind of growing upright. She's always kind of grown like that, so I'm trying to maintain that. Kind of like that. Another ICPU, we'll talk about her in the video coming out later this week. And then my Nobly definitely needs water, but look at all the splash of roots. Just the explosion of roots. So definitely need to put some water in there before all those roots just decide to dry out and go bye-bye. This one has been millibug free for a week now. I say, let's see, I do see a couple of possible, like right here, there. So it will be getting its wipe down here in a little while as well. And then Purpurata, just working on her latest growth there. And the Rescue Oncidium, the No ID one, the maroon and yellow flowered one, I put down here. I think it was just a little too much up top, so it's getting bright in direct light. And then look at this Tribii down here. Look at the shiny. Oh, I love this thing. I just always feel like somebody just took a paintbrush and just brushed this thing. Love that. And then look at what the Mewtwo King Bellina is doing. My goodness. My goodness. And you know, I've decided I don't even care if this one blooms. I just want this leaf again. This leaf grew in my care. I want this size of a leaf again. Just a whole bunch of them. Would love that. No ID Vanderbeck here. The one I recently messed up, the spiky spike that we could have had. Got a good soak. And yesterday she was sitting soaking, not soaking, but draining. And I'm just standing there wiping down another plant. And it just decided to take a nosedive. Just took a nosedive. So I just threw some more bark in there because I was digging out bark. And I have pumice stones in there out of the disposal. So for 2 hours I was making sure everything was out of the disposal. And yeah, it filled up. Like when I tell you it dumped, like the whole disposal was full of bark and all the stuff that's in that pot. So I just threw some on top. I'm thinking I'm going to get in there and kind of redo her because I don't like this pot she's in. I don't like it. So I'm going to figure out a different setup for her. But I did move Miss Jacqueline over here. And this is what I was talking about with the Dragon's Breath. Look how Jacqueline has on her petioles here. Look at those. I love the patterning, but this will be the first leaf that she's grown in my care. So it's probably not, of course, going to be the size of what she came with. This is another rehab. I did not purchase her. Well, I purchased her, but it was in a rehab. I think I paid $20 for the rehab box. Got a really good deal. Sherry Baby is just going to town over there. And then I moved the Hawaiian Treat down here to get a little more light because I don't think she was getting the right light here. And we'll talk about that one in a minute. Don't look at her. But Hawaiian Treat is doing fine. I did move I think that's the Pacharette, again from the Orchid Supply Store. I moved it over here to give it a little more light. And we're just going to ignore Loki. So if you hear him growling, whatnot, we're just going to have to ignore him. I do have my windows open. He growls at everything. So we're just going to have to work with that. I do apologize. And then the Collagenea is doing well. I've been keeping it watered. As you can see, the new growth is starting to open its leaves. And then this is Windy. I cannot wait for her to bloom for me again. Her blooms are so amazing. She's a no ID. I call her Windy because the day that I got her, it was windy. I know, I'm very original, aren't I? No ID on Oncidium up there, doing great. Now that one is in a self-watering. I'm not using it as a self-watering. Her inner pot, she has moss, small bark, and some perlite in there. The Lemongaria is making better progress on her leaf, so I'm pleased with that. The Maxillaria is growing. My princess up here, again, just vining everywhere. And then Montana Big Sky. Can we see what happened here? Yep, we're missing another older growth. So as long as it's the older growth, I'm fine. This newer growth right here that you kind of see kind of bending out towards the light, which is what I want her to do. Hopefully those roots will start coming in, but the roots that she does have, they are hydrating. I just have to remember to hydrate her every other day, if not every third day, minimum. And then Kingianum got moved kind of to the back. It was kind of sitting up here. And then the new growth on my they sold it as a Nobly type. It's a Phalaenopsis type, as you can tell. It blooms from the apex. My Orange Kiss, just those two new growths are doing fine. I do think we may have something, because that Roy Taganaga, it's getting a little bigger, a little bit bigger. So fingers crossed, guys. One of these guys is going to bloom for me. And then Sherry Baby from Sherry is just shooting out. I had to support, let me move that leaf out of the way. I had to support that one because I didn't want it growing this way. So I have it growing up. And then my Miltassia here has, if I can pick it up without ruining anything, that new growth coming. And then there are two little eyes on either side. I did cut off all the Constantine leaves. I got tired of looking at it. Aesthetically, it just wasn't pleasing. And I don't think that it was helping the plant any, because they were all crunched up. I mean, how much photosynthesis can that do? And she's got plenty of leaves to help her out. Plus, the size of those bulbs are nice. The back bulb of my Purpurata Caruna, look at that. Look how well she's doing. And then I moved the Oro, this is the yellow twinkle up here. I just need it to like bloom. And then ICPU orchid with the new growth there. And then this Schilleriana from Norman's, I just, moved it there. I did put the twinkle that was where the dragon's breath is over here, because even though it was on that stand, again, I kept bumping it, so it needed to be moved out of the way completely. I almost messed up with this one. I think this one is the Snowflake Oncidium, because, let's see, I took off quite the dry leaves, but the good news is the new growth back here did not Constantine. So I think I made it. Wilsonera is still working on that last growth back here. My, which one is this? Silver Wings crossed with Nydia. Again, just lots of new growths. I still don't see any kind of budding or anything on her. Then this is the Snowflake. Just got lots of new growths coming up on it. And then that's the Maya that has two growths in there, only one of which is really going somewhere. And then this here is the Dewy Forest that I just put over here because my Cattleya shelf is getting really snug. The Chocolate Chip has some new, oh, there it is. So this one here, so we should be getting a bloom. This one's pretty reliable as far as each new growth providing at least a little bloom. Excuse me, 1 second. Sometime later, as you can tell, my voice was just saying bye-bye. This one is the Royal Chip. I don't like it when they do this, so what I try to do is I try to get the newer growth. Let's see if I can show you guys. So I'll just take it, and I'm sure everybody else does this too. It's just not something like I invented or anything like that, but I like to put it in with some of the older growth so that it kind of grows more upright instead of out into the world. She's got lots and lots of new growth. I've just given up on any blooms on her. I just really like the way she looks. Like, even if she never blooms, I love the way she looks. I love her leaves. I love the little striations. I don't know how well it's going to show. If I can get in. Do you see that? You see the little lines through there? And I don't know if it's supposed to, but they all have it. I love that. I love that for her. Love it for me. The No ID Dendrobium, again, this is an Orchid Supply Store. Ken threw this in with the No ID Vanda. Look at that growth. That growth is going to be a stonker. The Golden Gammon White Knight, again, has a couple of little eyes on the side, no new growths as of yet. And my Nodosa has definitely perked up. When I was watering her last night, if you saw my post, you saw how droopy she was. I'll add that in if I remember. Get all that crystalline off of there, sap. But she was all nice and droopy. She has definitely been hydrated. My Australian type, the Dendrobium antelope type, she's got, it has 2 new growths, one of which I did strap up because, again, it was growing the wrong way. Look at the stonker on this thing. I'm going to pull him out. This one here. Okay, so that stonker right there was last year's growth. This is the Dendrobium spectaculus, or spectabula. But look at the size of this growth here. Look how tall it is. Look at the gorgeous leaves coming, and look at that one. That's the one that I didn't even know was a growth until it grew that one leaf last year and did nothing else. And then this year I got one with 2 leaves. So next year I'm hoping I'll get one with 3 leaves. Who knows? But look at that. So I'm trying to kind of harden it off there. And as I see that middle section of the cane starting to swell, I will loosen that strap, because the strap is it's big enough for me to loosen it as it matures. But I cannot wait to see how thick the center, or the middle center top of that cane is going to look, because that is last year's. That, where it's strapped, is the year before. That's last year's. I got this again from Orchid Supply Store. This one I did purchase from Ken. But again, if you want some orchids, orchid supplies, go to orchidsupplystore.com, use your 12% discount. And this is just my little supply area. I love the fact that I've kept it clean and organized. I'm proud of myself. Very proud of myself. It's the little winds, right? But we have the Cattleya, wait, which one? It's a Nodosa, right? Hold on. Yes, it's the Nodosa crossed with Cattleya Small World. This kind of, I hate when it does this, but it's gone too far, and I don't think, yeah, it's gone too far. I can't make it go like that without risking breaking it. This is another Roy Taganaga that I purchased from Sundance Orchids before I got the ones from Ken and ICPU, but it is just getting bigger and bigger canes with each new growth, so eventually one of my Roys is going to bloom for us. The Green Leopard, just working on her new growth, nothing really going on with it other than roots and growth. And then let me get up here. Yes, I'm old. I grunted. I apologize. And I think I'm just going to bite the bullet. I've been waiting for roots. I'm just going to remount this. I'm going to go in. I'm going to soak it really, really well. Maybe overnight in some CalMag, because the roots that are on here do absorb. They do turn green, so they're still good. I think I'll soak it in some CalMag overnight and then remove it from the mount, center it a little better, because, I mean, I can use the same mount. I don't have a problem with the mount. I have a problem with the way it's growing off the mount. That's my problem. And let's look at our top shelf here. These are all pretty much Phalaenopsis. I do have a couple little gems hidden here and there. So I did cut Queen Bear's spike off because she had lost quite a few of the blooms, and they did end up in the Summer Rose. Yeah, Summer Rose, Blue Star, whatever her name is. So I did cut that. And then we have 2 of our ICPUs here. And then this is one of my own personal ICPUs I've had since May of 2020. This one back here is the Ukidon. Let's see if I can get you the name there. Yep, and that is her keiki. That leaf you see, that's a keiki back there. And then we have the Tadia's Blush coming through. We have the Zen Diamond. We have Sunshine. And Sunshine is a no ID. And then I moved this little fella here to get a little brighter light. See if I can't encourage some growths. And then this one, poor baby here. This is just a Harlequin. And go over here. This one is that one, I think it's the Summer Rose. I'm standing on a table not table, but chair very precariously. I did move my Phalaenopsis Noah, well, it's Godspeed something, it's a pink one. But I moved it here, and I'm thinking again, I might need to move it again because it might still be getting too much light. I thought it was shaded enough. But this is my Morgan, who is, let me see if I can do this without falling anywhere, but it is growing some new roots finally. She's going to replace those nasty roots that we cut off of her. ICPU, another one of our ICPUs. And then we have Miss Lark Song, just doing nothing but growing leaves. And you know, I was looking at her last night. She's been in this setup for 4 years. It is bark, large pumice. It's some store-bought stuff. I think she might need a refresh. And then, of course, this one here. This fowl is my pride and joy. Really, she is. This is the gold staff right here. Out of my hybrids, this is my pride and joy. She has 12 leaves. Let me see if I can just kind of give you an aerial view of her leaves. She has 12 leaves. She normally double spikes. I did cut one of her spikes already. Oh my goodness. And she's the first one that successfully was repotted into LEC. And as you can see, she's kind of growing out of the pot. Oh, sorry, but I think I'm going to give it one more season and repot her. I don't know. I don't want to mess her up again. Oh my goodness, she's such a gorge. Just gorge. I love her. So of my hybrids, this is my hybrid queen. No offense, Lark Song, no offense. I love your blooms, but you know right now you're not doing much. And you haven't done anything for a year. You haven't shown me your blooms in a year. So if you want your spot back, how about you pick up the pace? Because right now, Gold Staff is doing it for us as far as the hybrids. Oh my goodness. And then the queen of the Polychilus is, of course, Miss Lady right here, which is our Tai Shing Fly Eagle. Look at that. I told y'all she is almost always in bloom, and especially this time of year. In the winter, she blooms for me as well, but it's not as frequent. I mean, we've got 2 open blooms. We've got a bud coming. We've got 2 open blooms on this one with a bud. Oh, 2 buds coming. I didn't see that one. 2 buds coming. Leaf growth, root growth. I mean, is there anything this girl won't do for attention? Tell me. Anything. If you have the Tai Shing Fly Eagle, does yours grow like mine? Like just, is she your queen? Let me know. Is she your queen? And then the Chatelaide, my ninja orchid here, she's taking a rest. She grew her leaf. Now she's like, okay, I've expended some energy. I need to rest for a minute. But she's still doing root growth, so I'm not going to be mad at her. Hieroglyphica does look like she's going to give us a bud on there and a bud on the one underneath here, and she is starting to grow into my black eagle here. Up. So maybe we just need to move up. There we go. Maybe we need to move Black Eagle up a little bit. There we go. And other than roots, Black Eagle's not doing anything, but you know what? It's on the struggle bus. As long as he continues to do something, I'm not even going to worry about it. I don't think we're ever going to get these blooms. Look at this. Look, like, what is going on with Abenensis? I do flush it quite frequently. I've increased the flushing on all of them actually, just to make sure. Wild type is going to give us another bloom. Look at the swelling on there. I love the bud on this one. Just love the way the bud on this one does, because it looks like almost like a what are those candies? Those little oh my God, they're like nerd candies with like the bananas and the strawberries. That's what that looks like to me. And then Sanderiana, loving that new leaf on the left there. Oh my God, it's getting big, fat, and juicy, like I need it to be. Oh, I love that. The leaf's edge, so go Vivian, doing great. I did move my little Vandopsis back there. That's Vandopsis gigantea. Bellina, Phalaenopsis Bellina carula, just, you know, hanging out, making roots, which is cool. Japan is about to open up another beautiful bloom for us. Again, I love these green blooms. Can you see that? I love that. When you put your hand back there, you can really see the greenish yellow. Whereas when you open it like that, it's kind of faded. But we have another spike here, so eventually we'll get some more blooms there. And of course, this one's going to be the princess, because this one is the other one that blooms the most for me as far as my polychilus type, with root growth, leaf growth, kind of what the queen over here does. But Japan Evergreen doesn't quite give the show. You know, she doesn't quite give the show. And then this bud is sitting on top of the leca for my Bellina. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with that one. I'm super careful when I flush this one. So when I flush this one, I literally will put my hand here to make sure that I don't splash water onto the bud. She's such a diva. Such a diva. The Tetraspis Wilson, taking a little break from her blooms. And there, I love when their leaves come out. I know not everybody is into the leaves and all the new growth, but you know, this is what we need to get this. And that's why I try to appreciate what they do give me, so that they will give me some blooms. Vandopsis parishii, just doing some, oh, I love when they do this. Look at this. I love when the roots get like a little branch as well. I just have to be careful when they do start doing this, that they don't go into the pots behind them, because that has happened and I've had to cut roots and lost roots. Samara is doing a wonderful, as is the Violacea indigo. And then my red one here is hardened off that leaf, so hopefully we'll get some new leaf growth. So let me get off the chair so we can look at the Cattleya. All right, so with the Cattleya shelf, I did take some of the bigger ones off, or some of the smaller ones off. Yeah, some of the smaller ones off. That's why I like my Yellowbird and the Dewy Forest are over there, because I need to make room. Now, as well, like I was talking about with the moving the picture for the zygos, I'm thinking, let me know what you think in the comments. I'm thinking, take that I moved that chair out of the way. Take that middle shelf off of there, and then that will allow the height and space for my Horse Maxima crossed with Dick Smith, my Queen, Copper Queen right here, the white Cattleya here, and my Sagreek wax ball. I should be able to fit all four of those over here if I take that middle shelf out. And because everything over there kind of is small, I've got plenty of space on this shelf and definitely down here. And then I'll have 2 extra lights if I need to add additional lighting. Like I can put some light, I can put one up underneath here as well. Because right now there's 2 lights on each shelf, which is why I think the Phalaenopsis are anthocyaning so much. There's just too much light down there for them. Perfect for the cats, but not so much for the fowls. So let me know what you think, because I'm really thinking that will free up quite the space here as well. And then we'll be able to really enjoy and see things, you know? I don't know. Let me know. But speaking of the Sagreek wax ball, She is not to be outdone by the queen above her. Ooh, it would help if I showed you. She has a sheath coming. And looks like, what is that? I just wiped her off. Is that what I think it is? No, that's, okay, that's just mechanical damage. I was about to have a fit, literally a fit, right here with you guys. This is the, oh, Willanette Wong. And she keeps giving me blind sheaths. So eventually, guys, she's going to give us, we're going to see what she actually looks like. Again, this is just the white cattleya. And you know what? Let me turn the lights off so we don't get this, but then you can't really see it, can you? Never mind. I was trying to kind of take the blue out, but if I do that, you can't really see anybody. Maxima is getting huge. She is getting large and in charge, and that is why I need to make some space. This is the latest growth from that, and right now I don't feel a sheath in there. Queen here, the Copper Queen, I bought her in bloom, so I know she's blooming size, hoping that she gets happy and gives me the bloom, because I really like those. My key lime here, again, was another one that was nice and droopy. Now she's standing all up to attention. The Hyacinth Pink Doll has that new growth that she is working on. And again, this dark one crossed with the Sagric Wax Red Bead, Red Bear, Red what? Well, it's stuck now. Red Beauty. Red Beauty. This is I'm going to say two sections, because I really didn't take her apart when I potted her in here. I just kind of took her out and put her in here. So I'm thinking either this is the back part where it got cut because this is a division, or there's two in here. Probably a division. Probably a division, Trish. What is this? Brassinia crossed with Nursery Rhyme. She has finally stiffened back up. She was so soggy. I could just roll her leaves, but she's nice and stiffened up. And her new growth has definitely suffered some leaf tip dieback, and that is from being dry and not getting anything. The Elaine Taylor, again, just grows new growth, and she is growing a little wanky. Can't wait for her to put out more upright growth so I can get rid of some of these that go off to the side. This is a piece of the Maikai, the front portion. Again, we've got these two here that are finishing off, and she's already working on a third new growth. Oh, I just noticed we actually have another one. So we've got the two where you see the sheaths. Those are the two oldest new growths. Then we've got that one and that one. So that is pretty cool stuff. I did put the Vandas under here, or this Vanda, not Vandas, but the Vanda. So this is the, oh my goodness, this is the Vanda that I've had the longest. This is my first Vanda, and I can't remember her name, and I refuse to look at the name. Pearl Cooper, I bet you that's what this one is. Let's see, yep, Pearl Cooper. That had a little baby last season, doing wonderful over here at the moment. And then down here, we've got the Cattleya schilleriana, and then which one is that? That's the red one. And then my Why Not, Catatante Why Not, and this is one of the Curl Smith. That is the Potnera Dick Smith, but they're all doing pretty good, I do need to water them again. Let's see. Oh, no. Let me see. So we do still have a little bit of moisture in there, so I think maybe they'll be all right. I'm trying to keep up with the smaller pots because obviously they dry out a little bit quicker. So I'm trying to keep up with those, checking those about every 2 to 3 days. And even if it's not their day to get watered, I'll give them a little drink with my little squirt bottle just to keep them from completely drying out. That's the plan, and so far it's been working. My Fritz Nicholas really suffered the drought. A lot of these leaves are kind of, well, and these are her older leaves too, but still. But this is, oh wait, is that the new growth? That is the new growth, okay. And this one grows like at a snail's pace. Like I know orchids grow slow, but this one here makes like some of the other ones just look like they're regular houseplants growing at the rate of, you know, the speed of light. I don't know even how to say it, but Renantheria, I think I need to take it out of here. I need to get it out of here and put it in something different. I'm going to leave it in the lava rock, but I think I'm going to put it in a different pot because this is starting to get too heavy for me to pick up, and I need to make sure I keep it flushed. And if the pot is too heavy, I'm not going to want to pick it up, if that makes any sense. So I'm thinking of setting it up something like I have my falcata, where it's in a plastic pot, but inside of a decorative cloche. So I don't know. Or cash pot is I think how they say it. Another ICPU back there. That is Zelda. That is Sarai, my daughter's orchid that I am caring for until it blooms. And then, of course, she'll get it, and then I'll get it back after it blooms. This one is the Spring Pleasure that we are attempting to rescue, and I feel like we might be a little successful. Well, on that piece, because look at the growth on there. And then look at the ones on this side, right here. And that one. And of course, you know, I mean, she is using up the energy that she has to support her babies. And so this leaf and this section is senescing. However, and that stem is senescing. However, the new growth is doing well. And that's what we want, is the new growth is the life of that. This one, since I put it over here under less light, that's just mechanical damage. That's not any of our unwanted Airbnb guests. But it is starting to green back up, and a lot of that red is coming off of it. This one here is another one that I got from Ken a few years ago. He sent everyone a Phalaenopsis. So this, I don't know what happened to it was a pretty decent looking fowl, and I don't know what I did to it, but it is finally coming back. I see some new root growth down there. I don't know if you can see that. Let me get it here. There we go. So we do have some new root growth going in there. And this one, I've been keeping it more on the dry side because all the roots that are currently in there are aerial roots. And since aerial roots are not used to being too wet, and I did put it in there without the root tips being active. So that is why I keep it more dry. If the root tips had been active or green on the end, like this one here, well, is it this one? Like, see how that one, the root tip, let me see if I can find one where you can see it a little bit better. We'll just on the blue kid here. But do you see how, maybe you don't. Okay, do you see the green on the root tip? If you're going to change the type of media it's in, or if you're going to change it from aerial, meaning in the air, into some media, make sure your root tip is nice and green, because then it's more, I'm going to use the word more likely to adapt to the new setup. It's about 99% effective, okay? Nothing is 100%. ICPU, I think Mahariella, I think I've lost it. But I'm still trying. I am still trying, because I really, really love the little blooms on that. I need to do something with that back there. I'm surprised that anything is still alive in there. It's probably not. It probably just looks alive. I haven't opened that thing in months. Months, I tell you, months. ICPU, no, this is not ICPU. This is my pink lip one. This is the ICPU, and then we have some soft clouds back there. And I don't know, I think I have too many of them. And this one looks like it is suffering with some spider mite damage as well. So I might just get rid of that. And since we're down here, the Paphiopedilum, I did put it down here again with its strappiness. It kept getting bumped being on the shelves at the top. Yellow King it's surviving. It's going to make it, I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100%. Let's give it an 80%. But I really like those blooms too. But look at this queen. Look at this queen. Look at the amount of variegation on these leaves. They're almost, oh my goodness, that is just gorgeous. That is gorgeous. I don't care what anybody says. And she has enough green that I think she's okay. But look at this one. Look at that. Look how white. Oh my goodness, just gorgeous. But she is doing her, she is just living her best life down here, like literally living her best life. Look at her. She is just, and I love that for her, because if she's living her best life, then that makes me happy, because I know I'm doing something right for her. So she doesn't necessarily have a grow light above her, but she does have this grow light off to the side where she gets kind of some lighting. So she's not really in that bright of light. And I do check all my plants, even if I'm not watering them. Even when I was feeling awful the last few weeks, I was checking the plants every day for millies. And if I saw any, I would have my daughter get out the alcohol and we would go to town. She would do it while I supervised. Up here, I did move my Pachra here, so it does sit underneath that four strap of grow lights, just to give it a little more lighting. This, again, may or may not come to fruition, just because it did not get watered, like I said, for about 3 weeks. I'm ashamed of myself, but it is what it is. And then the Marquis, which one is this? Is this the Epicattleya Renee Marquis? The variation Tyler, again, just growing. Hasn't bloomed for me yet, but I'm thinking it's getting close, because she's got quite the growth and she's got quite the roots in there. So hopefully, maybe. This is my no ID rescue Phalaenopsis that we got from Lowe's a few years ago. And then this Publicalyx here, again, look at the growth. This is one of the pieces that got broken. So these are all old growths, but this one and this one, and I love how shiny the leaves are when they're new. I love that. And you can really see the venation in it much better when it's new. Look at that. The texture of that leaf. Love that. Just love it. And then up here, Miss Soft Clouds, yeah, ignore that too. I usually close that door so you don't see it if it's not 100% clean, but you know, you're seeing real life today, guys. Real life today. So Soft Clouds here with an air plant stuck in it. Again, just cut a bloom or spike off of her, and she's already blooming again. My, which one is this? Little Stars, Nodosa Little Stars. Just going to town. Look at all the new growths. I am loving that for her. Again, she must be living her best life right now. Kinky Anum is doing really well since I moved it over here. And the Hippodomia, guys, let me take her down, because I was watering her and I did not realize all the new freaking growth on her. I did not notice that new growth right there. You see the anthocyanin on it? She's got new root growth, and she has all kinds of growth on this left side. So the right section is a piece of its own, and then this is a section of its own as well. But look at all the growth in there. I've just been watering her and hanging her up. Watering her and hanging her up. Now I just need to set her down somewhere, because I can't hang her up with one hand. So I just need to lean her right here. And sorry if this makes anyone else dizzy. I do apologize. And then this is the other section of the Lisa, the Hoya australis Lisa. Again, there's two little sections in there. Each one does have a growth point. So I just want to see which one grows faster and how they grow, because this one obviously is getting way more light than the one over by the window. So I just want to see how that works. See if it changes the blooms, if I can ever get it to bloom. And then my Unicum, I think this is probably going to be the only cane I get, because I am watering it consistently, keeping it damp during this time of the year, and I don't see any new growth as of yet. But that could change. That could change. I probably should have cut the spike on this, the blooms on this one. I think being greedy kind of drained it a little bit. My bad. Alrighty, these ladies here, look at them go. Everybody is just kind of doing leaf and root growth, other than this one here, which was sold as a Sogo Yakdon Odom Snowball. or Snowfall. I've had since 2021. She's bloomed for me before, but I did stake it simply because this spike was trying to go into this loose berry and was not trying to let that happen. But she is, oh, she is due for a watering. That's what she is. She's just loving her little life in there. Her bloom is one of the white ones, but she has like the really deep, like maroon throat. So once she blooms, we'll dig into her. And then look at the big strappy leaf I got off of this one. This is the Phalaenopsis Hyacinth Venus. No, I'm not going to say I've never seen her in bloom. Did I? You know, I've had her for so long, I can't remember if I've seen her bloom or not. Let's see. I say so long. I've had her for 2 years. And I don't know that I've seen her bloom. I'm pretty sure she came in spike. Oh my goodness. I'm going to have to go through and see if I have any pictures of her. I don't even know. It's been that long, and that's really sad. ICPU orchid here, and then Chia E. Yinlin working on another leaf, and looks okay. Those are dead, but they do need to be wiped off, so I don't freak out. So those are dead millies if you see them. And then this one here is an ICPU. This is my black dot. Let's see. She kind of had some millies on her, so I'm really looking. Again, that is mechanical damage from me digging in there. And then this is my Moonlight. This is the one with the pretty white blooms. Really tiny blooms, real cutie. I moved the Fred Clark After Dark over here just to kind of get her out of the way. ICPU, and then the Phalaenopsis She-Fang Savory. Why can't I say She-Fang Savory Orange? That's a tongue twister. Is doing fine. Again, a bunch of dead millies that I have to get wiped off of there. And then this one here is just strappy. It was living downstairs in the basement under a grow light that sucks, and it was just too strappy, so I brought it up here to try to thicken it up, because these are bonicles. These are Sansevieria bonicle babies, and they should actually be bigger than that. They're 4 years old now, and since they've come up here, they've really grown. And then this one here, again, ICPU, and we will talk about this one. Yes, that is what you think it is. We'll talk about this one in an upcoming video as well. So let's see, did we get to everything? Pretty much. So everyone, I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we are going to leave it on Les Queen.